I'm Jeremy Stern. I am the chair of the Measurement SIG. That's a fairly recent thing. Andy Morris, my deputy, was chair. We've just had a bit of a swap about. We are a group made up of circa 15 members that come from a variety of corporations, institutions. We've even got some government representation in our group too. We come together once a quarter. I guess we discuss sort of specific items of note. There's various topics that come up from time to time that are relevant to us, and we discuss how we're going to engage with them. But actually, our specific focus is around three key projects that that we are running, and I'll go into a bit more of the detail on those shortly, but they're listed there just for now. Next slide, please, Ernest. So why are we here? Our vision, we said we want to be a cross-sector group delivering improved implementation and understanding of robust and reliable measurement and associated best practice. And I guess therefore sitting behind that, and as you can see on the screen, I probably won't read all of these out, we set ourselves a series of objectives, which is what we use really to derive the projects, the three we're working on, but we also have a, how can I put it, a follow-on list of projects that as the projects we've got reach a close, we will move forwards with. But it's a lot of it's centered around understanding technology standards, and we do connect in with the standard SIG. That feels quite relevant, and then really around alignment and some of the engagement we've had with the other SIGs and beyond on all matters measurement related. So let's just jump to the projects, if I may. Next slide, Ernest, please. So our first project we've got is one entitled Marketing of Measurement. I guess the intent of this is really about perhaps making the world more aware of the importance of measurement and making people who might want to get involved in measurement aware of what it is. How many 16-year-olds at school would put their hand up and say they want to be a meteorologist when they grow up? Most of them probably think it's something to do with the weather. So this group is really about trying to disseminate that relevant input information, start all through people's learning journeys and beyond, and wider industry, government, the public, about the importance of measurement. And we've been involved in quite a number of key activities and things. As you can see, there's a list there. There's the IMECO conference in 2018 as part of the Festival of Measurement. There's things we've done for precision, but we're also now looking out further and beyond. There's outreach activities we've got going on for children. Certainly, the body temperature panel has been an interesting one in this COVID time of ours, and there's been activity in there. We're also starting to engage with the Scouts about a metrology badge. So really trying to bring people towards the subject of measurement and how it fits in and what it's about for them. Next slide, please. The other group then we have is, well, around training. It's one that I have been leading myself. One of the things that sort of been apparent to everybody involved in the group is that there isn't a consistent framework for training of people, either whether it be measurement scientists, perhaps those engaging with measurements, and users of the outcomes of measurement. If you're lucky, you might get a module in your degree. If you're unlucky, you probably stumble into it by accident and make a few mistakes, and some of them stick and become people who perhaps live and breathe metrology and measurement on a daily basis, and others maybe decide they never want to touch it again. Well, that didn't feel right, and against the landscape of perhaps what is out there in the marketplace, there's lots of courses, lots of companies, especially those who perhaps sell measurement equipment. There's lots of institutions, academic and otherwise, that perhaps feel the need to offer, but it's not consistent. So we've been working with predominantly MPL up until now to really work out, well, what might a structured training framework look like that supports not just, I guess, the core competencies, the stuff that it doesn't matter what you're measuring, but also recognizing that everybody works in different places, different industries doing different stuff. What are those perhaps technology specific competencies that need to be included? And we can't just cover the advanced stuff. We've got to attract people in that connects to that sort of marketing of measurement from school leaver all the way through to the end, probably, I guess, the end state in terms of academic qualification, perhaps of PhD. So we've created a framework, something that with MPL is being termed AlphaMet. There's been some NMS funding allocated for it. We're now also getting engaged with a group that has been set up called the Midlands Centre for Data-Driven Metrology. They too have been working in a similar space. And actually, what we're really now looking at is, well, how do we bring this together? Because success actually is we wanted one framework. We want one framework that means that it's common across. And we've to what was shown earlier with the flow sig, we have been talking to Gordon Fish out the flow sig about how we perhaps connect in with some of that, because actually it's just as relevant as anything else that goes on in the world of measurement. We're also looking to set up an industry steering board. If this is going to add value, it's got to meet the needs of industry. So we are currently working towards that as well. Next slide, please, Ernest. And then to our last project. It's fine in a world where you can answer your measurement challenges by perhaps buying a gadget or finding a company who'll do it for you, stuff straight out of the catalog. But it ain't always that simple. We have challenges where there isn't something sat on the shelf, there isn't that immediate technology available. Or maybe come from the other end of the spectrum, there are people with great ideas of measurement gadgets that are looking for customers. So it was felt that wasn't working. I know there's a lot of work that goes on in things like catapults and the like, but the focus on measurement technology specifically maybe wasn't there. So this group has been set up to really start to try and close that gap, to connect those innovators with the end customers. Perhaps an environment where, recognizing people can be quite sensitive around intellectual property, both, the innovators and the industrialists can actually get together and explain their needs and ideas and connect and create solutions. So this group has been working towards that goal. There's been a lot of work, in recent times, looking at, well, how could it be done? What's done elsewhere in this sort of field? What can we learn? Admittedly, this group's maybe not moved as fast as we'd like. So at the moment, we're sort of reconstituting this project a little bit, but really then to get it back on the road and get that mechanism set up so we can join those innovators with those end customers. Now, you'll have seen on the bottom of every slide, and perhaps like all of the groups that have gone so far, we are keen to expand our membership, especially those perhaps who may choose to want to get involved in a specific project. So yeah, we've got our email address there for the SIG. If people email that, they can that comes directly through to us, and we can then make the connection and find out how to get you involved. Okay, thank you. That's it from me.